Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to continue my Korean campaign, which means that I will continue where I ended in my previous video. In the previous video I was able to disable the SA-10 on the Nachodka airbase, so my harm hit the flaplit radar, which means that the Nachodka is like vulnerable now. So I can fly there and do my OCA mission against this airfield. It's the Russian airfield, so it's a legitimate target as the Russia declared war already, so we are good to go there. As you can see, I'm carrying 6 Durandals under my wings just to destroy the runway, together with 4 AMRAAMs, C4s and 2 fuel tanks, and I'm carrying also this EZM pod for this mission. So the SA-10 is destroyed. There was one SA-5 before, it's also destroyed, and one of these SA-5s cannot be destroyed just because the radar is inside the building, so you have to destroy completely the building in order to destroy this radar, but I don't want to do that. I can basically fly just over the airfield, drop my Durandals and fly back home safely without being pretty stressed by the SA-5. It's quite old, quite unreliable missile, and can be easily beaten by the EZM pod. I'm telling it right, so hopefully I won't be shot down by this SA-5, but I think I can make it like back home safely. So let's go for the takeoff.
Panther 4-1, request clearance with departure.
Panther 4-1, Chungju Tower, position and hold, runway 16 right.
Okay, Panther 4-1, copy. Position and hold, runway 16 right. Still the flight will be quite long, so I need to save as much fuel as possible. I won't be needing it in the target area. There is no SA-10, so I won't be using the afterburner there like before.
Panther 4-1, Chungju Tower, you are cleared for takeoff, runway 16 right, depart heading 205.
Panther 4-1, copy, clear for takeoff, runway 16 right, depart heading 205. Okay, let's go for the takeoff.
Chungju Tower, you are clear for takeoff, runway 16 right, depart heading 205.
Altitude, 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 altitude.
Panther 4-1, copy, resuming on navigation. So let's fly towards steer point 2, which is somewhere in the distance, like 333 miles away. So this will be a long flight. But don't be afraid, I will use the time compression as soon as I set up everything properly. So first I'm going to start with the fuel itself, so let's switch this knob to the external wing. Therefore this gauge will show me the external wing fuel capacity. Now let's set up the bingo to 7100. Therefore, I will be warned when my fuel is below this threshold. So I will see like fuel flashing on my head-up display. So that's the fuel system. Let's continue with the air-to-air missile. So let's switch to the AMRAAMs, and I basically switch to this HSD button down below, just to switch back to this HSD screen, which is the horizontal situation display. It's like the bird's eye view of your aircraft and the situation around it. So I know perfectly where is the next steer point, where is my wingman, where is the locked target, for example. You can see also these circles here. Basically, if my radar is currently set to 80 miles range, so I know that this first circle is like 20 miles, this is 40 miles, 60 miles, 80 miles is the range of the radar. If I switched it to 40, the distance of the radar, and for example, I can see that this blue line now is the range of the radar, it's 40 miles, so this first one is like 20, 40, 60. That's all what I see. I can switch it back to the 20, for example, so you can play like so, and you can see maximum radar range is 160, but I really doubt that the F-16 will be able to see anything at that distance. It must be like huge, like, I don't know, maybe even the Airbus 380 won't be visible at 160 miles with this Block 52 radar. Maybe the latest block, like Block 70, I don't know, it might be able to see like at 160 miles something which is big as a White House itself. So maybe that's the only possibility. So it has no sense to switch your radar to 160 miles and hope that you will be able to see something there. So the better way is to go for the 80, for example. And still, if you lock something, so I can see there is some object at 28,000 feet flying in 52 miles range, currently 51. I definitely can lock onto it sometimes. So okay, I can lock now. I can hold the lock, but still the target, or this if this is target, is definitely moving out of my missile range. Basically, it's almost 5 times further than the current VES of this AMRAAM, or the weapon engagement zone. So firing AMRAAM at this target will be basically the wastage. The AMRAAM will never be able to reach even half of this range. So let's set up the Durandals now. As you can see, I'm carrying 6 of them under my second pylon when counting from the fuselage. First, I'm gonna set up the mode in which I want to drop this bomb. Now there is a CCRP point mode. It's basically means like constantly computed release point. You just lock the target with your radar, for example, in building, and it shows you when to hold the trigger, and you can fly basically leveled at some certain altitude, and the bomb will tell you exactly which point you should release or hit the trigger, and the bomb will free fall onto that building and hit it, hopefully. So basically all the wind is also taken into the account, so the fire control computer basically is also correcting with the wind, your speed, your altitude, all the variables which are going into the formula. So you can basically hit a pretty big target with this mode from let's say 10 to 15,000 feet. So if you are flying any higher, there might be like different winds. You can switch it off. You can in the setup you can switch off the wind aloft, so definitely different wind direction in different altitudes, but I have switched it on, so this makes my bombs like never hit the, or not never, like very rarely hit the proper targets. So let's level up. I'm already in the correct altitude. You just need to center line your aircraft with this line, and hold the trigger, and will automatically release the bomb in the exact point. Just because the target is runway now, and I'd like to control all my bombs which will be released, I'm going for the CCIP mode, which is the constantly computed impact point. So let's switch it here, and you can see there is a reticle, or a, let's say, gun sight, or the aim point displayed on my head-up display, and it shows you exactly the point where the bomb will hit if you release it now. Currently I'm in 23,000 feet, so definitely this point is not here where displayed, but it's somewhere here below my aircraft. But it always shows you like here on the bottom, just to know that you will basically move your nose down below just to see the exact point. You can see that still it's somewhere below my aircraft. Still don't see the real point. Need to dive a little bit. Okay, now I can see it. So that's the exact release point of the bomb.
Altitude.
Not the release point, the hit point, basically, where the bomb will hit the target. I lost all my altitude, but that's okay. The fuel won't be a problem in this mission. So that's the mode, how to release the bomb. So I always go for either the CCIP or the CCRP. I prefer the CCIP just to more or better control of the impact of the bomb. When you are going for some big target, definitely go try the CCRP, but you won't miss with the CCIP mode. It's much more precise, just because you are lower and you are exactly pointing your impact point onto the target. So that's very easy to control your bomb, very precise. So that's the CCIP mode. Secondly, you can switch between the pair or the single drop. So for each trigger press, you can select whether you want to drop one single or one pair. Basically, just for example, I can switch like so. I can select this release pulses to 3, which means that basically once I press the trigger now, it will release all 3 pairs together. So basically all my 6 bombs will fall at once, but the spacing between the impacts will be like 175 feet. So I'm gonna zero it, and in this scenario all the 6 bombs will basically fall into one crater. So it will be released really instantaneously at the single release or trigger press. You can select, for example, 6 bombs or 6 release pulses, let's say it like so, and select like singles, and for example select like 300 feet spacing between the bombs, like so, which means that once I press the trigger, the bombs, all of them will be basically released, but one by one, and the spacing between the impacts will be exactly like 300 feet. So that's how the fire control computer works. It's very easy to set up the bombs, but I'm going to set up the spacing for 0. Just I need to have like proper control over the bombs. I'm gonna select the release pulse to 1 bomb only and 1 single. So I need to press my trigger 6 times now, but I can slightly move my aircraft left, right while pressing the trigger, just to center line and point the Durandals like exactly at the correct place on the runway. So that's how the bombs work. Let's continue with the aircraft setup. I'm talking too much already. So lights off. Program 4 for the EZM, which means basically that I will drop chaffs and flares simultaneously. Every time I press the chaff button, we release chaffs and flares all together. Therefore, I don't have to distinguish which kind of missile is following me. You don't have time to do and to set up the proper program once the missile is behind you already. So you don't have time for such such playing with your left console. So EZM on, master arm on, and I'm ready for the flight. Wingman is nicely behind me, so let's check him. So that's my wingman. You can see me in front of him. He has the same payload as I have, so 6 Durandals, 4 AMRAAMs. Let me check the situation.
Chalice 1, Panther 4-1. Request vector to threat. Panther 4, Chalice 1. Things are quiet right now.
Okay. Time to activate the time compression.
Sentry 3, be advised, enemy aircraft launch activity detected. Bullseye 335, 120
Okay,
miles.
F-18s just taking off from the carrier on my right side.
Sentry 1, be advised, enemy aircraft launch activity detected. Bullseye 305, 140 miles.
So the SA-5, one of these SA-5 should be still active there. There were like 2 of them. We destroyed one of them, still one is active, so I have to be careful, but as I said, hopefully it will be okay. AVAX number 1. Okay, there is active SA-5.
Chalice 1, Panther 4-1. Picture.
Okay, AVAX won't tell me about any risk whatsoever, but I need to, just because I'm far away, I'm too far from the AVAX, so he doesn't see threats in front of me or around me. I'm at the very edge of the map basically right now. So you can see I'm somewhere here, the Nachodka is in front of me, so I'm still too far away from the AVAX. Meantime, there was a SA-5 launch onto me, so I'm being attacked by this huge missile, and the radar lost the track. Maybe not. I don't know whether it is still tracking or not, but I need to go lower definitely. Seems like the second missile is seeing me.
Altitude, altitude.
Okay. And it lost the track. So I can stay like in maybe 4,000 feet for now. That's pretty safe. Okay, no active missile in the air. The SA-5 is definitely looking here. It's trying to catch us, but it's unable to do so. Let's fly back to steer point 4, which is the IP point, already 52 miles in front of me currently. I was overGing the aircraft during the SA-5 beating, and seems like I've crippled or damaged my flight controls. There is a fault written. Hopefully this is not like this is not anything serious. Hopefully my aircraft will be still controllable. This SA-5 is meant to be against the bombers, so it's not very effective against fighters which are like smaller, nimble, and can change its direction. So the missile had a hard time even to follow me, to follow my Gs. And also the radar is not very reliant in the current age. It's very like sensitive to the EZM. So if you have like EZM on and you make a couple of turns, the radar will basically lose the lock. Maybe I can fly even higher just to save some fuel. If the missile will be in the air, I can still go down a little bit. So maybe let's fly in 10,000 feet. That's pretty okay. So you can see the fuel is flashing on my head-up display. Okay, there is another missile. So I think the 5,000 feet will be just fine for me. You need to stay realistic. The higher I fly, the easier target I'm becoming. So let's say in between 0 and 5,000. The missile is still seeing me. Not the missile, the radar is still able to track the missile. These aren't the active missiles. They still need the homing from the ground radar. Okay, time to make an evasive maneuver, which means you need to put the radar onto the I don't see the missile. Wait a moment. Okay, the best way how to beat this missile is basically to put the radar onto the 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, which means that the missile is flying perpendicular to you, and the Doppler pulse radar is unable to see like targets which have like 0 relative speed in or out of the radar. So if you are flying perpendicularly or in circles around the radar, it means that your speed when comparing with the radar is like 0. So you have 0 like inbound or 0 outbound speed, or the radar is unable to see you. That's how you can very easily beat such missile like SA-2, SA-3, SA-5. Definitely not the SA-6. It's much harder. And the SA-10, it's like completely different tracking. It's very hard to beat that missile and that radar itself. Okay, I just wanted to drop the fuel tanks, but I'm gonna fly with them until I will release the Durandals, and then I will release both Durandals wreck and the fuel tanks as well. Maybe let's set up the bingo for 3000 now. Should do it. The fuel consumption at this sea level is really huge. You can see that my current fuel consumption is 11,500 pounds of fuel during one per flight hour, which means that I will be able to fly like so only 30 minutes. But I definitely need to get higher once I'm gonna return home, just to save some fuel. So I won't be able to reach my home base at this altitude. So definitely we need to fly higher just to save some fuel. Okay, hopefully this SA-5 won't be firing at me again. I can see the airfield in the distance. It's here on my left. So that's the target for today. Let's switch to the Durandals. And let's go for the attack. Go trail. Let's say go trail.
Panther 4-2, go trail.
And let's change to the steer point number 5, which is the target steer point. Let's straight up 50 runway.
4-2, request permission to engage.
Sure, you can engage. Definitely go for it. There still will be the SA-7 or SA-14 or both of them operating or defending this airfield. These are basically the infrared manpads, very dangerous when you are flying low and slow. So we'll definitely need to keep a pretty high speed just to avoid them. And I can see some things on the runway, so there is something moving onto it.
Flare.
Let's pre-flare. Okay, there are some vehicles on the airfield.
Bombs away.
Flare.
Bombs away. Bombs away.
3,
Bombs away.
4,
Altitude.
Bombs
Altitude.
away.
5,
Altitude.
6. Okay.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Okay,
Altitude.
perfect. So let's jettison everything together. Let's switch to the Cat 1 and I can fly home. I'm gonna wait for my wingman to drop his ordnance. He will drop his bombs in pairs.
Bombs away.
You can see how he's dropping the Durandals. Okay, let's rejoin.
Panther 4-2, rejoin formation.
So, as you can see, the runway is very nicely destroyed.
Panther 4-2, on my way.
Let's switch to the steer
Panther
point.
4-2, request permission to engage.
Who you want to engage? Just join me. We are going home.
Panther 4-2, rejoin formation.
We will be flying over the
Panther 4-2, on my
SA-5.
way.
There still might be some SA-7 defending this SA-5, so we need to be careful. If I fly too low, the SA-5, the SA-7, the manpads, might be able to destroy me. If I fly too high, the SA-5 will be able to destroy me, so I don't know what to do. Okay, there is the SA-5 launch in the distance.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Another missile here.
Altitude, 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 altitude.
Okay, the SA-5 is unable to see me.
Altitude, altitude,
I'm
altitude.
gonna fly.
Altitude, 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 altitude.
Panther 4-2, sail launch, southwest.
And I was hit by some manpad. Oh, there it is. Maybe SA-8
Caution,
or
caution.
Tunguska or whatever. Which means that I've lost a little bit of my... But I'm able to navigate. You can see my radar is off. Maybe my RWR is off as well. I don't see the F-16 behind me, so that means that my radar, my RWR is off. I don't know whether I'm illuminated by this SA-5. I have to be really careful about it. It was a huge mistake to fly like so. Just over the enemy territory. The Russians have like multiple, I don't know, systems here. The SA-5 is definitely not the single threat here. There is a series of Tunguskas, SA-8, SA-9s probably, SA-13s, SA-15s maybe, which are defending this area. So the SA-5 is protecting this factory here. It's somewhere here. Can I climb already? I don't know. all the pages are off basically. I'm tilting to the right side, so let's put my left wing down a little bit. And I need to pay attention to this SA-5. And it shot a missile onto me. You can see there is a missile trail. I was unable to see it. So I was shot down by this SA-5 just because my RWR was not telling me that the missile is in the air. I should stay like on the, it was my mistake, I should stay on the sea level at least, I don't know, for 50 miles. Let's resume the mission. Let's see. Okay, I can't switch to my wingman view. There is another missile which is going definitely for my wingman. Oh, that's flying so fast, and he was hit as well. I don't know why he was flying that high. So I misjudged the SA-5 location. It's this factory. It's in different location that it should be. I was thinking it's here, but the missile flew from this from the front. So it killed basically both of us, as you can see. Very nice, very nice. I was too humble, not too humble, sorry. I was too heroic in this mission. It was very stupid from my side that I flied in, I don't know, 3000 just over the SA-5. Or just over the SA-9, so I was definitely maybe hit by the SA-9 first. Let me see that in the debriefing screen. So I was killed. My wingman was rescued. He was more luckier than I was. 2 air-to-ground kills. He has like 0 air-to-ground kills. I don't know why. Maybe just because he was hitting the runway, which was already destroyed. So I hit the runway. I hit some taxiways as well. He hit the runway, just damaged it, but definitely this airfield is out of operational status. As you can see, there were like 2 SA-5s launched at me before I hit the runway, then one SA-7, SA-14 just over the airfield. Then I hit the runway, which was destroyed. SA-19 shot me down, just damaged me, so that was the hit. SA-10. So they fired the SA-10 without the radar, basically. So maybe it was the missile from behind, because the SA-10 was on the airfield, not on the not like the SA-5 was. So this SA-19 or SA-14 crippled me. It's like just 18 seconds between them. One of them definitely hit me, one of them didn't. So that's what caused me like to be without the RWR, and then I was hit by this SA-10, which means they had to navigate it somehow else. I don't know how, because the radar was destroyed, and I wasn't like spiked by this SA-10 before, when my RWR was still working. Very interesting one. So it was the SA-10. I was thinking that it was SA-5, but not. SA-10 is definitely out of action already. It's here. So let's recon it. I have no information about it. I just see this AAA battalion, which is the artillery. I don't see the SA-10 here. But as you can see, the Nachodka is out of action, is 0% operational. So at least this was achieved. This is the SA-5, probably, right? Parlock B, okay, it's operational. This was firing on me when I was approaching the target. There is another SA-5 here, which is already destroyed. It's the 3rd Air Defense Battalion, and somewhere here on the Nachodka was also the 1st Air Defense Battalion. which was already destroyed, or at least the flaplet has been destroyed, the radar, but it seems that the SA-10 is still somehow able to kill you, even the radar is off. So I don't know how to seal it completely or how to seed it completely. Maybe you need to destroy all the launchers in order to bring this SA-10 the complete non-operational status. Okay, I'm gonna save it right here. So that was my my next mission. I'm gonna wait for some interesting missions. I don't want to fly any OCAs whatsoever in this Nachodka. It's not necessary anymore. I just want to do maybe some air-to-ground support or some close air support for my ground troops, which are already moving towards the Pyongyang, as you can see. They stopped here just because I didn't give them any more orders. So just here. Okay guys, so that's it for today. That's all from my side. Hope you enjoyed the video. If yes, please hit the like button. If not, just hit the subscribe. Yes, if you didn't like the video, hit the subscribe button. Definitely, that will help me. But if you didn't like it, please hit the dislike button so I will know that something was wrong with this video. Maybe leave me a comment in such case what was bad, what you didn't like, for example, so I can maybe somehow improve for the future. So far, thank you for watching. As always, have fun, take care, and bye.